the last decade, James Patterson sold more books than any other author. 114 of them became New York Times bestsellers. Wow, helping James Patterson sell 305 million copies. Show off. His latest novel's out this month. It's an adult thriller, Truth or Die, and Just My Rotten Luck is part of the middle school kid series. But his 2012 book, Zoo, is what we're talking about today. It's being turned into a thrilling summer TV series, premiering tonight here on CBS. A team including scientists, behaviorists, and a journalist race to find out why animals all over the world are suddenly turning against humans.
Something clearly is not right here.
Exactly.
Back at the vehicles, there were at least 5 male lions. All right, they never travel like that. A typical pride consists of females, their offspring, and 1 or at most 2 males. Look, I don't know what's going on here, but I do know that we do not want to be here when night falls.
You sure don't want to be here when night falls. James Patterson, welcome back to Studio 57. Yeah, he's right. Not only not be here when night falls, I think you shouldn't watch this at night. I thought that first episode was so scary.
It's scary, but not too scary. Don't be scared off. No,
don't be too scared?
Yeah, get out the popcorn.
Where did the idea come from?
It's very entertaining, I'll say that.
I think a couple of things. One is, I mean, look, we humans are kind of questionable in terms of the way we're dealing with the world right now. And so this is a fable in the same way that 1984 was a fable about big government. This is a fable about kind of what we're doing to the earth.
And the environment.
And then I just kept seeing these. You know, remember like things like the remember all those fish jumping into the boats in Michigan?
Yeah.
Thinking, like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
You know? More alligator things in Florida and crocodile things, and crocodiles pretending that they're learning how to make the sound of dogs. Barking so that they would learn, you know. So at any rate, that's kind of where it came from.
Yeah, but the animals are overtaking the humans. I do say don't watch it by yourself. I do think you should watch it with somebody.
Incidents. It's really not. I would say tone more like The Birds, Hitchcock, suspense, and
maybe it's the music, James.
It's not gory. Yeah, the music is good.
It's the music.
There's one scene there in the tall grass.
And where was that shot?
It was shot in Louisiana.
Isn't that incredible? It
I
looks
thought
like
it was
it's
Africa.
in Africa.
Yeah, it's kind of like Jaws with lions. Yeah, it's a very good scene and very nicely. I mean, it feels like a movie. It's shot very, very well. And good writers.
But you said you think that the series is better than the book. I very seldom hear authors say that.
Who said that?
They said you said that.
All right. Okay. Well, you know,
you very seldom, James. No kidding. Hear authors say that.
No, it's a good series. I think they did a terrific job. The writers really, you know, they dealt with it in a appropriately serious way, but also there's also a lot of nice comedy in there. Billy Burke is one of the characters. He's great. He's so funny in this. I mean, which you wouldn't expect there to be, but it makes it feel right.
How many books do you turn out a year?
Turn out?
Yeah.
Oh my. I don't know. Somewhere between 9 and 12. Yeah. A lot of kids' books, which that's a passion for me, which I'm sure we'll talk about.
Well, you're turning them out very well. Yesterday we had the Forbes list of the 100 top celebrities.
Yeah.
You were the author on the list.
Okay. The only author.
The only. That's right, Nora. The only author. It says you make a lot of money, James Patterson. How did you feel making the list? Does that kind of thing matter to you?
Not. It matters to some people, so it's useful. Sometimes I get in Hollywood, producers will go, okay, well, this guy, he must know something.
Yes.
Then they don't listen to me.
So the money matters, but not being on the list.
I don't. No, the money at this stage, you know, no, money doesn't matter right now. Money doesn't.
What matters?
For me, doing things well. That's what I like about Zoo. They did a nice job. Some of the other Hollywood things, I mean, we did a TV series a few years ago. I thought it wasn't very good. This is a good one. It's a good series.
But James, you've used some of
CBS. But here's an interesting CBS, not to give you guys bigger heads than you already have, but when a couple of the writers were talking about, they'd worked all over Hollywood, but they had not worked at CBS before. And they said working with CBS, they realized that everywhere else they worked, it was like working with high school kids. That's how good. That's how good CBS is.
I'll take that as a compliment.
They are. CBS is great. The notes have been terrific. The support has been terrific. Obviously, the marketing is great. And they really contributed in a positive way to this thing being a good series.
Well, that flows from the top, from Les Moonves himself. You know?
I don't know who Les Moonves is. Yeah, no, absolutely.
He knows who you are.
It absolutely does.
Your name.
Let me ask you about, because
homework.
one of the things you've done, though, is you're reinvesting in libraries. I mean, reading and kids reading is incredibly important to you.
You know, that's really the money thing for me. And this is just the way I was brought up, the way you know, it's not so much, I was brought up Catholic, but that's not it per se, but it's just trying to do the right thing. There's an article actually by David Brooks in the Times, op-ed thing. It really gets into the whole thing about doing the right thing, trying to do the right thing.
So we had him on to talk about that. When Jeff Gordon was leaving about his 2 kids, he said, just make sure they go to the library. Reading is very important.
Or the local bookstore. And that's another important thing, obviously. I'm very involved in trying to get people to make sure we have independent bookstores.
Libraries in small towns.
You know how they can do that? Because we always went as a kid, and I took my kids when they have reading circles for kids. It's a way for, anyway. But
or if you're going to go to the movie on Saturday, go to the library first. Make that part of the deal.
James
Patterson. We're going to go to the library, then we're going to the movie.
So great to have you here. Thank you so much. And you can watch the premiere of Zoo tonight at 9/8 Central. That is right here on CBS.
Watch with a friend.